a couple of games, but has been getting away with it. Definitely got away with it with Mark Frost last night. Today, Ron Meulenkamp probably should have put him away. But like Michael said in his post-match interview, he's still here. He's won 2 matches. Still got a chance to win the tournament as long as he's standing on that stage.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Michael Smith's victory against Ron Meulenkamp had a little bit more to do with Ron Meulenkamp collapsing.
First leg is Michael to throw first. Game on.
But Michael Smith did manage to overcome Meulenkamp, and he does find himself in the quarterfinals, and he knows how to go and win 3 games in an evening session on the final day of these European tournaments, because he's done it 3 times before.
He's done it a lot more than other people have. That experience has got to stand him in good stead.
108!
We're looking at a man with a lot of confidence. And I mentioned before we started here, Dan, that if anyone's going to be fresh for a quarter-final, it's going to be Nigel Heydon, because he was only up there for 6 legs.
Yeah, he's already knocked out the number 6 seed Ian White.
Well, cut that 6.5, you've got a 3, and that's exactly what Michael Smith is, the number 3 seed. And he's not going to be afraid of him. I don't think he's going to be afraid of anybody tonight.
95.
Well, let's put it this way. If Nigel Heydon plays like he did against Ian White, and it wasn't spectacular, it was a 93 average and hitting 50% of his doubles.
96.
That is going to be good enough to beat Michael Smith if Michael Smith plays how he has all weekend, because he has not been very good. There's no 2 ways about it. Michael Smith is a man of almost limitless talent. I have huge, huge hopes for Michael Smith as a pro dart player, but he has been a very lucky boy this weekend. 6-5 win against Mark Frost, had to survive a match dart.
100.
And was trailing Ron Meulenkamp 4-1 before he managed to win 5 consecutive legs. There wasn't much of this. There wasn't much of this at all against Ron Meulenkamp.
Nigel, you acquire 126.
There wasn't much of that, and there's a lot less head shaking going on from Michael Smith tonight, which is a good sign. But Nige, what a dart that is. Oh, that was a good dart. Gave it a real fright.
65.
Because of those previous arrows from Michael Smith, he's now got 62. So he now has to look at the bullseye route.
Oh.
Missed a big number. Lazy
25.
dart. And I'm not one to be negative.
25.
I really am not. But there's been a lot of lazy darts from Michael Smith this weekend.
Just not paying enough attention to it. That shot, you feel. Heydon won't make that same mistake. He won't lack in concentration, but he lacks
13.
in accuracy on
Michael,
this occasion.
40.
And Michael Smith to hold his throw and go 1-0 up.
Game shot
there
the
it
first
is.
leg. Michael Smith.
Michael Smith. Well,
second leg is
maybe
Nigel to throw first. Game on.
it's just a bit of a charmed weekend he's having. It's quite possible that Michael Smith sort of stumbles through to the showpiece.
Somebody check his dart case to see whether he's got a 6-leaf clover in there.
60.
Because he really is using up some luck. And you don't want to do that all in one weekend, because there's a long season to go and you want to keep some for later in the year.
45.
You'll know, you've been in players' rooms, practice rooms, in tournaments like this where there are long days and you're seeing your potential opponents going up there and playing. Now, I know that you're doing everything you can to focus on the next game, but it's only human,
59.
isn't it, to have a look up every now and again and you see, oh, if I win, who am I playing? Oh, he's stumbled through that one. He wasn't very good there. I quite fancy my chances here.
140.
It's only natural to be thinking like that, but even if you try to put it to the back of your mind.
It's impossible not to know that, because there's a TV in the practice room showing these games, and there are constant reminders of who has won what and who's playing that well. So it's really hard to get away from it.
80.
What I did notice in the break between the last 16 matches and the quarterfinals was there's one guy, because there were 3 boards outside of the closed-off practice
100.
area, and the closed-off areas where only the players can go who are in the session, but there were 3 boards outside, all on their own, a lot quieter. Who was there? Nigel Heydon. Wanted his own privacy, wanted to do his own thing. I don't think he wanted any distractions.
132.
Yeah, I think he's been there most of the weekend. Whenever I've just scouted around up there, it's usually Nigel Heydon just getting on with his thing on his own.
56. Nigel, you
Maintain
acquire
focus, and it's worked for him
170.
this weekend. As I say, this is his first European Tour event in 3 years.
Let's hope for us all Even me.
105.
Good darts from Nigel.
Michael, you require
That's a really nice
160.
And the age-old thing, where do you go for 65? Because he is going to get a shot at that. Talking to
70.
Murphy earlier on,
Nigel, you
I
require
was the big advocate
65.
for treble 11. He was probably going to go for 25. It's a 12. That's a treble 13, is it?
Down at the bottom left bit of the board, double 7.
Game shot on
And
the
wow,
second leg. Nigel Heydon.
they all count.
Third leg is
They
Michael
all
to throw
count,
first.
and
Game
I
on.
guess we have to put that one in the to be considered bin.
Well, Nigel Heydon gets his
60.
first leg on the board, and that sort of finishing. He's going to have to take chances like that. He had a couple of darts in the first leg, remember. He could be 2-0 up here. And it's kind
94.
of, in the opening couple of legs here, this is the same sort of stuff Michael Smith's been throwing all weekend, an average in the high 80s.
I think a lot of these dart players in this
100.
last 8 part of the competition, you can read where they're at. Kyle Anderson's buzzing, obviously. Michael Van Gerwen obviously wasn't his 100% best. I think it was a frustrated Peter Wright. There were a lot of things happening in the early part of the match that weren't to his liking. Michael Smith looks a little stronger tonight for me. Not as much of a shake of the head. I think he just needs to get his head down and grind.
93.
But Nigel Heydon for me looks probably the most unflappable of the lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free roll for Nigel Heydon, really. I mean, Nigel Heydon knows that just getting to the final session of action here, as he has done, is surpassing the expectations that anybody would have had for him.
127.
Whereas Phil Taylor, Terry Jenkins, Michael Smith, all these guys kind of expect themselves to be involved at this
100.
stage and back themselves to go on and win it. So Nigel Heydon kind of doesn't have a great deal of pressure on him. Of course he wants to go and make the semi-finals and the final and go and win it, and who knows, he could well do. We could be on a collision course for Kyle Anderson, Nigel Heydon in the final here.
134.
Two unseeded players battling it out.
148.
Why not?
Why not, indeed? The 148 is not going for Michael Smith, and this is an opportunity for
84.
Heydon to break
Nigel, you require 101.
and go 2-1 up.
Now, this is a finish that most great players or good players will expect to get one shot at a double. And he is going to. That double is double
Game shot on the
16.
third leg. Nigel Heydon.
Oh, that hurts Michael
Fourth leg
Smith.
is Nigel to throw
He
first.
stepped forward thinking he was going to get a shot.
Game
and he
on.
stepped back as he realised he's not going back to the board. Crucial break.
Nigel Heydon. What a shot that was.
That sounds like a song. Nigel Heydon. Oh, what a shot.
84.
Well, we've had some unusual songs this weekend and some really good chants. Try to encourage the darts audience to get some new chants. We don't like the
93.
Touré one, do we?
No, I would ban it. I would ban it.
Especially if he leaves Man
Oh,
City.
just on cue. Just on cue. What have you done, Nicholson?
I'm going to be quiet.
134.
Right, Michael Smith has to do something to up his game. We saw from Peter Wright that he just couldn't do it. He was up against
94.
Terry Jenkins, and he was struggling, and he was struggling, and he just struggled, and then he lost. And there was no point where Peter Wright managed to find something to ignite him. Now, Michael Smith has had 2 games where he has struggled and struggled,
96.
and then somehow just got over the line. Admittedly, with a little bit of help from his opponents. I don't think Nigel Heydon's going to give him much help, so he's got to do more stuff like that.
80.
He's going to get absolutely nothing from Nigel Heydon. You're right. More 180s from Michael Smith is what we need. And that's the only thing that's going to get
95.
his chin
Michael,
up,
you require
because that's what he's used to
134.
hitting all the time.
Treble 18 tops is Michael Smith's MO for the 134, but he doesn't even
56.
find
Nigel, you
one
require
treble.
92.
Now 92.
Bull route again.
Well, it could be. It could be.
Got it this time. 10 or a 6? 6 it is.
74.
Oh, good chance.
Michael, you require 78.
There's only one route for this. 18s. 20. Unusual block.
Game shot
but
in
he
the fourth
used it.
leg. Michael Smith.
That's a ghost dart.
Good leg is
from
Michael to
Smith.
throw
He's
first.
just thrown that through the second dart.
When
Game
you get
on.
a slow-mo of that, that was a very, very unusual shot. I thought he'd have to go to the left and go over the top on the left-hand side. But no. The amount of practice that Michael Smith does, the only thing I can
45.
think of is that he's done that before.
Curious. I'm not quite sure how he's done it, but the fact is he has, and that's 78 checkout. Well, vital, but already he's kicked off 45 there and just hands the initiative
100.
to Heydon.
This is the thing, Dan. When you practice all the time, you don't just go up there and throw. Look at how the darts
57.
behave. The only people who should know how they behave are the people who are throwing them.
Yeah,
can
you should
talk
know your
about-
game better than anybody else.
Absolutely right. I think Michael Smith knew that was going to go in when he threw it.
59.
The amount of times he's left that finish in a practice game or in a match, especially in a match because you're under pressure. He knew he could go to the left. and it'd be fine.
140.
It's almost like that Kyle Anderson bypass start that we were talking about last night. It covers the 60, but he knows he can hit it to the right.
See that very distinctive throw of Nigel Heydon. That just
100.
lurch forward and a rock back. It's sort of like the anti-John Henderson. Hendo goes back and then forward. It's a strange old rocking motion. None of that for the bully boy.
99.
It's like a theodolite just planted into the ground. Very stable base.
Hashtag Theodolite.
Ah, the theodolite.
I also like the lurch one.
Yeah, well, they're both available nicknames, I believe, in darts. As Heydon. Ooh, a little bit unlucky there with that
140.
last dart.
Like
But
we
at 40
require
gets him down to
160.
102, and he's been giving himself chances to hit doubles when he's been leaving finishers around this mark. He obviously took out 101.
120.
120 is not a
Nigel, you
bad
require
setup.
102.
Well, we've been saying that Kyle Anderson's been hitting the ball, but what a setup that was. That was almost exhibition stuff. I think that was a sensible play from Nigel.
82.
He set it up
Michael,
well.
you require 40.
But the setup of Michael Smith has got him here
Game
to do
shot on
that.
the fifth leg. Michael
Michael
Smith.
is definitely playing better
Second
tonight.
leg is
He's
Nigel
upped
to
his
throw
average,
first. Game on.
but he looks sharper to me. Maybe he's had a word with himself. Maybe spoken to some people in the practice room. How do I pep myself up a bit more? His mentor isn't here this weekend in Gary Anderson, and has that affected him maybe?
Well, potentially. And Nigel Heydon, what a start to this leg. And Heydon did waltz through
92.
against Ian White, winning it 6-0, but he had a couple of real fights to get to that stage of the tournament. You know, Robert Thornton, he beat in a deciding leg, and Roxy James Rodriguez, and as well as 1,500 Austrian fans, he managed to knock out in round one with a 6-4 victory. So it's not as if he's been
44.
gifted a path. He's had to earn it.
He's had to earn it.
Oh, I didn't even realise that.
No, you didn't
The
even say that.
Undertaker.
100.
Didn't even re- Murphy would have spent about 5 minutes setting that up just to crowbar that in. I accidentally Murphy'd an earn pun it.
84.
Steady darts from Nige. Smithy will probably start downstairs here. Might stay there. Wow.
171.
And that was a gamble on that third dart. I thought he might have gone bullseye just to leave a finish, but he backed himself. That's the difference between the Michael Smith of tonight and earlier today and yesterday. He's backing himself a bit
100.
more, and he's getting the job
Michael,
done.
you require 138.
Well, can I get the job done here? Because this could be a crucial moment if he takes out the 138. It's not going to happen. So treble 20 would leave tops, and he's done
98.
exactly that.
Nigel,
So
you
if you're not
require
going to take it out,
102.
set it up, and he's done that perfectly. It could be a 13-dart leg coming in, unless Heydon takes out the 102. Is he going to stay there again? No, treble 14 for tops.
62.
Oh, what an effort that was.
Michael, you require 40.
He's got a chance. He's been given a chance. Is he going to take it? Yes, he is.
Game shot on the sixth leg.
And
Michael
in
Smith.
motion from Bully Boy.
Seventh leg is Michael to throw first. Game on.
He might have thrown some lazy darts this weekend, but there was nothing lazy about that.
140.
From young, exciting players like Michael. is that when you're not playing your best, just fight your way out of it.
Yeah, well, he's been... We've obviously mentioned that he's not been very good this weekend, as Heydon just misses out on the maximum. But in tournaments like this where you're playing a number of games, you can, if you keep winning somehow, you can sort of play yourself into
135.
It's almost like being a cricketer and being at the crease. You know, sometimes you just got to let a few balls go through to the wicketkeeper and find out how the ball's behaving. In darts, sometimes you need a bit of luck. He's had it, and he's playing himself
58.
into form, like you say.
Well, look, his average has been creeping up steadily after the first couple of legs, and it's up to the mid-90s now. It's still nowhere
59.
near firing on all cylinders for Michael Smith, but he's left the finish after 9 here. He's looking to hold his throw and go 5-2 up, and you see that is the highest it has been all weekend for Michael Smith. Still a long way off his A game. But it is impressive how the young man has managed to battle
57.
through this.
Michael, you require 167.
What's interesting is the feed-on effect of when Michael doesn't play well is he gets really stressed out. It affects his concentration. It affects some of the decisions
60.
he makes on the dartboard. But when he's playing better, he looks less stressed, and it just seems to flow naturally.
Yeah, it can snowball one way or the other, can't it? Things get bad and they get worse, and they get worse very quickly. But if things are getting better, he can just build on that. But Nigel Heydon is not letting him get away.
107.
88 left. Double top left.
87.
Oh, good effort.
Nigel, you require 66.
One dart miss for 5-2. Heydon for a break straight back. Only going to get one dart. 18 for 4-3. Oh, what a dart, Nigel Heydon.
8 leg is
Not
Nigel
a
to
wink
throw
of
first.
emotion from the Undertaker.
Game on.
Game back on. Could have been 5-2. Isn't. It's 4-3 and back on throw. That's about as much emotion as we get from Nigel. Shake of the head that wouldn't even flick a
82.
playing card off the top of your head. Who is going
96.
to be the last quarter-finalist at the Austrian Darts Open here in Vienna? I already mentioned it could be a Nigel Heydon Kyle Anderson final.
Do not rule it out.
140.
Nigel Heydon has been solid all weekend, and Kyle Anderson has been excellent all weekend. And when you've just knocked out the world #1 Michael van Gerwen,
100.
nobody should hold any fear for you, even the greatest player of all time.
Well, Anderson's going to have to do it the hard way.
101.
If you win a tournament beating Michael Jelle Klaassen, who's thrown 8 180s at you, then Michael van Gerwen, then Phil Taylor, then another,
100.
you deserve 2 trophies.
It doesn't get much harder than that.
Certainly does not. Look, let's just concentrate on the next opponent for Kyle Anderson, Phil Taylor, first, before we think about who he can face in the final.
Right.
There's a small matter of who's going to go through to the other half of the draw here, because Nigel Heydon, having looked
95.
like he might have been over and done with at 5-2 down. Michael Smith had a dart for 5-2. Had he taken that dart, he was in the ascendancy at the
Nigel,
time
you
as well.
require 83.
Had he done that, then Nigel Heydon, oh, it might be over already, but he's looking to level it up at 4 apiece now. He's got to use the bullseye. He's got to be 16 ball.
Has to, because Michael's too dangerous on these kinds of shots. I think he knows it. It is the bullseye. Oh,
58.
good try.
Michael, you
Options
require
here for
150.
60s or 57s. It's going to be 60s. Probably would have stayed there if he'd have hit it for a double 15 shot.
70. Nigel, you require 25.
And Nigel's got to clean this up.
Double 4. Double 2. For 4 apiece. Gets
On
it.
the 8th leg.
Heydon
Nigel
has
Heydon.
battled back from
9th leg is
4-2
Michael
down.
to throw first. Game on.
That was just confidence from the weekend, I think. Brimming from confidence, being able to do
180.
what he's been doing all weekend. And Michael Smith has not been doing that all weekend, but he's been doing it more in this match. than previous times over the course of the Austrian Darts Open.
Yeah, well, he only hit 180 against Ron Meulenkamp earlier on. He's hit 3,
57.
as well as a 171 in this match. And he is a big scorer, Michael Smith, when he gets going.
Michael Smith is one of the biggest 180 hitters in the world.
57.
Up there with Anderson and Chisnell and Michael van Gerwen. It's like saying, when he's got 180 in a best of 11 match, it's like saying, you know, Ronnie O'Sullivan's going to have a break of 15.
180!
So that's 180, number 3 for Nigel Heydon as well, and he is going toe to toe. Look at that. 4,
60.
2, 6, 4, 6.
Boy, did that get him back in the leg. Michael Smith knows it. Nigel's back in there.
Oh, wow. Heydon, if he can find another, he's got a real chance.
140.
Oh, look at this. 1, 2, 4 for a break of throw, and we've mentioned this a number of times this weekend. It is the perfect time to break this 9th leg.
That was a delicious
140
for Nigel Heydon.
Nigel, you require
visit.
124.
It's under the pump now. What a great 140 from Bully Boy. Perfect start. Only one route here. Single 14. Don't get greedy. Got away with it. Bullseye.
Game shot the 9th leg. Nigel
Breaking
Heydon.
a little bit of Michael Smith's heart there.
10th leg is Nigel to throw
Oh
first.
boy. Leg
Game on.
9 break.
Nigel Heydon, a bullseye finish to break. He's throwing for the match and a place in the semi-finals. It's 3 years since he even qualified for European Tour event. Played 5 back in 2013 and 2012. Everyone was talking about the return of Phil Taylor to the European Tour after 2 years away. They shouldn't have been done. They should have been talking about Nigel Heydon coming back after 3 years. He's on the brink of knocking out the number 3 seed.
He's looking at the white line at the finish. He's not afraid of
100.
it. This is a good start to the leg. What can Michael do about it? He looks calm.
60.
Not anymore. Is his luck going to run out finally against an opponent that's been flying this weekend?
Well, Nigel Heydon is averaging in sort of mid to high
60.
90s, around about 96 at the minute. Now that is his best performance. He's been getting better. Look at that, 96.2. And if you average 96
57.
and take your chances, you can win tournaments. James Wade's made a living out of it.
It speaks for itself. The further in tournaments you go, you've got to be playing people who are playing better than previously. So if you constantly improve your average, you've got a great chance.
65.
Oh, that's a real slip, though, from Heydon. It does get him down to a finish, but it could have been easier, and you can see he's frustrated because if Smith can pile in here with another treble, and he does...
Nigel, you require 141.
Well, the 1-2-4 was magical. This would be sublime for Heydon.
He went the John Law route, the 51. He's 107.
51.
Interesting.
Michael, you require 104.
The thought behind that is that when he comes back, if he comes back, he will come back.
48.
Got to be
Nigel,
going
you
20s
require
here.
90.
Don't even look at the bull, Nige. Only look at it if you need it with the third dart.
Nigel Heydon to continue his dream run here in Vienna. What a dart, gives him 2 at double 15 for the match, and to knock out the 3-time Euro Tour winner Michael Smith. He's missed inside, criminal.
No score.
And then he's bust it by
Michael, you
throwing it
require
away. That's such an
56.
unlikely dart from Nigel Heydon. And Michael Smith to punish him.
16.
Doesn't do so.
How big is that
Nigel, you
bust going to be
require
now? That's
90.
3 busts we've had this weekend. They always come in threes. Single 20. It's a double. 5.
85.
No, it's not.
Michael, you require
Can't
40.
say he hasn't had chances to kill this game off. Is Michael Smith going to be running again?
Game shot on the 10th leg. Michael Smith.
How is he getting away with this?
The 11th and final
I
leg
do
is
not
Michael to
believe
throw
this.
first.
Nigel Heydon has missed 2 match darts, but had he not thrown away that last dart in his penultimate visit of the leg, he would have had
Game on.
3 match darts in that final visit. As it is, he was left on double 5. It was a horrible mess, and he'd been so solid and sensible all the way through this weekend.
180.
And now he's staring down the barrel.
80.
This is unbelievable. You get the feeling that Nigel's had his chance. And Michael Smith's not going to let him off again.
57.
Is Michael Smith's name written on this trophy?
Michael Smith survived the dart for the match from Mark Frost last night. He was 4-1 down to Ron Meulenkamp and benefited from his Dutch opponent just crumbling under the pressure of trying to make his first ever PDC ranking quarter-final.
60.
Nigel Heydon, one of the most solid performers all weekend, has missed 2 match darts. He should have had more, but bust his score. And now the Bully Boy looks to be tearing off into the distance in this final leg of the match.
He's only 301 in front in this penultimate leg before these darts from Nigel.
100. Michael, you require 83.
What a roller coaster of emotions he must be going through, Nigel Heydon.
And that is that. An 83 checkout. Michael Smith kills it off with a 12-darter. The Bully Boy is still on course to claim a 4th European Tour title. But I am baffled as to how he keeps winning games this weekend when he just doesn't seem to be playing well enough to do so.
Speechless, Dan. Absolutely speechless. I don't know what we've just witnessed.
Nigel
but we've seen the
Heydon.
3rd baffling post shot of the weekend. Hopefully we don't see any more, but wow.
Wow, indeed. Let's see what the Bully Boy has to say about it. He is through to the semi-finals. He'll take on Terry Jenkins, and we're going to go straight into the last 4 action with Kyle Anderson against the power Phil Taylor.
Congratulations, Michael, and welcome to the semi-final. Yeah, oops, he did it again. Is that what we can say about this match?
Yeah, every time, every game I should have got beaten. I'm just scraping through. Most of my lucky day. I'm going to put the lottery on when I go and see if I can become a millionaire by winning that. But everyone's had the chances, and when he bust that 90 and then when I missed the tops, I knew he was going to check it, but he gave me another shot. I gave it to 5-all, just thought, I'm playing bad, it's only 1 leg now, just dig deep. And then 180 kicking off. We kind of killed it after he just missed 6 darts at 1 finish. I think it's my lucky day today, I think.
Also, das war wieder mal so eine typische Achterbahnfahrt, wie wir sie hier schon das ganze Turnier von ihm gesehen haben. Also ein richtiger Rollercoaster. Jede Menge Breaks. Am Ende hat es dann wieder gereicht. But I have the opinion you improved your game a bit. What brought this little confidence back?
That's all I need. I'm just lacking confidence. I'm throwing. When I'm throwing, I'm thinking about what I'm doing, how hard I'm throwing it out, how less I'm throwing it, if I'm pushing or I'm floating. Instead of just getting on with it, like that last leg, I did everything perfect the last leg, but it's 1 leg out of 11, and that's all I'm doing. I'm having the good leg and all the rest are really poor. But hey, I'm still in now, I'm in the semi-finals, I can go backstage, keep working on it, and then see what happens in the next game.
Thanks, and see you later.